What's up, family? Man, I'm laughing because you know what? This is the third time I'm having to record this video. The third time this morning. You know what I mean? It's the first time my phone just cut off. Second time something else happened and just shut it off. Something doesn't want this out there. And it is what it is. It's all good. It's all good. It ain't stopping shit. You just gotta laugh with it and roll with it. Recognize it for what it is. Stay with me. I'm on point. We going somewhere today, and it's gonna piss some of you off. It's gonna piss some of you off. I'm fair warning. I'm just letting you know. It's gonna trigger some of you, and it's gonna help some of you. And it is what it is. Get in where you fit in. You know what I mean? But that being said, man, we have to grow up. We have to grow up. Man, I was talking to a young man, and this young man was just so full of anger and just hate. And it's not funny about the young man. I'm still laughing about the fact. I was like, the first time I was like 2 minutes into the video when it shut off. This last time I was like 8 minutes into the video and it shut off. And I'm still tripping off of that, but it's all good. But I was talking to this young man and just the anger and the hate that was coming from him. And I was like, man, what's going on? You know what I mean? Why are you so angry? Why are you so hateful? And so he's talking to me about how much he hates his dad and how narcissistic his dad is and what to do. I'm like, okay. And so as he's talking, I'm reminded of a conversation that I had with my nephew years ago. And my nephew was like 19, 20 at the time. And he was at the house and we sitting there and just chopping it up. And he started talking about how he couldn't stand his daddy and da 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 da. And I was like, you know what? God help me. You know what I mean? And he was like, what? Huh? I said, you know what, man, we're going to get this shit straight. And he's like, what are you talking about? I said, man, enough. I said, you know, don't ever disrespect me. Don't ever disrespect your daddy to me again. And he just looked at me, well, my daddy's a fucking buster. He's da 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 da. He's a fucking lame. He's a drug addict. I said, you know, time out, time out, time out, time out. Don't ever say anything bad about your daddy to me. And he just looked at him. I said, you already know I don't even fuck with your dad. I don't even chop it up with your dad like this. I said, but you don't even know what fucking happened to your dad. You sitting here blasting your dad about some shit that you don't even know what the fuck you talking about. Oh, we going there today. We going there today, man. Like I said, this is gonna trigger some of you and it's gonna piss some of you off. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. I don't give a damn. Grow the fuck up. Heal and deal with your bullshit. And so he's looking at me. I said, you don't even know what fucking happened to your dad. But you sitting there running off with the fucking mouth like you God Almighty, like you got this fucking full scoop. Like you was there when the shit went down. And so he's looking at me, and I'm on one now. I'm on one because I'm sick and tired of the bullshit. And so he's like, what Uncle, why you riled up with that? I said, look, let me tell you something. I said, you know, it may not even be my place to tell you, but I'm gonna tell you anyways. I said, because you need to know the fucking truth. You and your fucking siblings need to know the truth. And he's on one. He's looking at me like, man, I'm tripping. I said, no, bro, I ain't tripping. I said, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I said, your daddy was a square. Your daddy was a lame. He didn't know shit about the fucking streets. I'm talking about back in high school. I knew your daddy in high school. See, I was there. Your ass wasn't there. I know what transpired because I was there. You going off of some bullshit you don't heard somebody tell you. We're talking about influencers. I said, you listening to your mama spew some bullshit to y'all, and she's been spewing some bullshit to y'all whole fucking life about your daddy and everybody else. And you don't know any better. But you wasn't there to know the fucking truth. So you can only go by what your mama's told you. Yeah, that's my sister. But my sister's fucked up. My sister's got some shit she's gonna have to fucking answer for. I don't fuck with my sister. And you know I don't fuck with your mama. And I don't fuck with your mama because of the way she is. And this is why I don't fuck with your mama. Oh, we going there today. And so I'm talking to him and he's like, man, I'm tripping. You know what I mean? I said, nah, it's not about tripping, bro. I said, let me tell you something. Your dad, he was a nerd, bro. He was a supervisor at a grocery store. Supervisor or manager, one of the two at a grocery store. This was in the 80s. I said, the thing that your dad did wrong was he hooked up with your mama. Your dad messed up by hooking up with the wrong woman. And I know this is gonna piss some women off, and it is what it is. I don't give a fuck. You already. I'm not about the divisive shit. I'm not about bashing women. I just call it for what it is. I'm gonna call a spade a fucking spade. There's a whole lot of fucking sorry ass dudes running around on this fucking planet, but there's a whole lot of sorry ass deadbeat fucking women running around this fucking planet too. And it's okay for us to say that they're sorry ass fucking dudes, but it ain't okay for us to say they're sorry ass women. You got me fucked up. I'm not that motherfucker. I'm not intimidated by nobody. I don't give a fuck about this cancel culture shit. The truth is the fucking truth, and we gotta start speaking the fucking truth. Otherwise, ain't nobody gonna get fucking healed. Ain't nobody gonna be able to grow the fuck up because everybody running around believing fucking lies and bullshit. So I'm telling my nephew, I said, your daddy hooked up with your mama. They had a thing going. Your mama accused your daddy of cheating on her. Your mama started cheating on your daddy. Your mama got some dope from somebody and planted it in your daddy's car and had your daddy locked up. Your mama planted the dope in your daddy's car and called the cops. That's the fucking truth. That's a bomb, and I know you don't want to accept it and believe it because you can't accept the fact that your mama would do some shit like that. But you could believe the negative, toxic shit about your daddy. You could believe the shit that your daddy ain't shit. He's a fucking deadbeat. He's been in and out of prison. Da, 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 da. He's a drug addict. Da, da. You could believe this shit about your daddy, but you can't believe this shit about your mama because your mama influenced you. Your mama brainwashed your fucking ass and poisoned your fucking mind when you were a fucking kid. Oh, we going there today. Ooh. Talking about influencers. I said, so your mama had y'all believing all this negative, toxic ass shit about your daddies to make her look good. This is my own flesh and blood sister that I'm talking about. So when I get on here and you hear me talk about, there's a whole lot of sorry ass fucking women running around on this fucking planet that to get guys caught up and locked up in prison for some bullshit. I'm not talking about shit that I fucking heard. I'm talking about shit that I know personally, shit that I'm personally experienced. And it pains me to know this about my sister. And I'm not dogging my sister out because of what she's done. We've all been damaged. We've all been broken and fucked up. And we all got some growth and development to take place. We all got some shit we need to heal from. Every one of us. And so I'm talking to my nephew. And he's looking at me. And the tears are coming down his eye. I said, you don't know what the fuck your daddy went through. I said, you sitting there blasting him. Going the fuck off on your daddy for some shit that you blaming him for and you don't even know it fucking happened. You think you know what happened, but your ass wasn't fucking there. And the person who influenced you has been fucked up. The person who influenced you initiated all this bullshit. I said, I don't want you to hate your mama, but I need you to stop hating your daddy. I need you to understand the pain and the fucked up bullshit that happened to your daddy. I said, because you don't fucking, you can't comprehend the fucking pain and the shit that he went through. As a nerd, as a square, you're now faced locked up in jail, and you're facing a district attorney and a judge and all these people who saying you're a bad guy because you got dope in your car, and you're trying to cry and you're trying to tell your mom and your daddy, I didn't do this. This ain't mine, and ain't nobody listening to you. I said, so imagine the hell your daddy went through. Your daddy's sitting there pleading for his life. Your daddy's sitting there pleading his innocence, and nobody's listening to him. Nobody believes. When the cop arrests him, he's pleading and crying. It's not his, but it's in his car. He didn't even know it was there, but it was in his car. And he was driving when he got pulled over. And that's when they got him. I said, so imagine the shock on your dad to even see that the dope was there. Your dad had no idea that the dope was there. Your dad had no idea that your mama could be so spiteful, that your mama could be so hateful, that your mama could be so vindictive that she would do this to him, that she would ruin his career, ruin his reputation, and ruin his life. Oh, there's a whole lot of sorry ass fucking women running around this fucking planet that do shit just like this and worse. We just don't talk about it. We just talk about the sorry ass fucking dudes running around. We just talk about the deadbeat dads. Who's influencing you? Who's been influencing you? And this young man had no idea that his mama could lie to him and deceive him the way that she did for all these years. He had no idea that his mama could do something like that. So I'm talking to my nephew and I'm telling him, I said, look, you don't know the hell your daddy went through. It's easy for you to sit back and judge him now. It's easy for you to sit back and condemn him and blast him now, and you not know the fucking hell he went through. Your daddy wasn't from the streets. He ain't never been in trouble before. So when he got locked up, you don't know what fucking happened to him. Your daddy was a sheep thrown in the fucking prison system with wolves and predators. But your daddy survived. I don't know what transpired inside. I wasn't there. But you can only imagine. You can only imagine. I said, so for you to sit here and judge and criticize and blast your daddy for some shit you don't know what the fuck you talking about, you way out of pocket for this shit. Fast forward. I'm now talking to another young man. Talking about influencers. And this young man is mad and angry at his daddy. So I know his story too. So I'm looking at him and I'm talking to him. Let's take a look at this. Why does your hatred run so deep? Why is your anger so deep? Who's been influencing you? Who's been dropping things in your spirit? Who's been tainting you? Who's been poisoning you? And so I had to break it down for him. I said, look, you can say it is what it is, but I know that your mother left your father. True? He's like, yeah. I know that your mother fucked up the relationship. She ended the relationship. And she's hating herself for ending the relationship. She's hating herself because she had a good man and she fucked it off. She's hating herself for that. She's hating your daddy because he moved on without her. She's hating your daddy because he never gave her another chance. And so from your mom's brokenness, from her anger and her hatred, she poisoned you and your siblings. She poisoned anybody that would listen to her when she talked about your daddy. I know you don't want to hear that because you don't want to believe that your mama has been poisoning you since you were a kid. Your mama don't even realize that she was poisoning you. But from her pain, from her brokenness, you guys fed off her energy. You guys consumed her energy and her frequency. And I know that she's dropped bits and pieces here and there of negative stuff about your father. And that was already in your spirit. That was already in the frequency and vibration that you were now put on. And so it resonated with you. We're going there today. We're going there. God help me. Talking about being an influencer. And so many of you, you have this hatred and this disdain and this bitterness for people that ain't did shit for you or did shit to you. You've allowed other motherfuckers, because of their bullshit and their broken and their pain and their trauma and their negativity. You've allowed these people to poison you. You've allowed these people because you were on that frequency. You were on that vibration. So what they were saying was resonating with you because you were already on that frequency. And so in the spiritual realm, we call them familiar spirits. Oh, that resonates with me. Oh, that seems so familiar to me. Oh, it's like I know this already. Why? Because you're on the same fucking low vibrating, toxic ass bullshit frequency. And you don't even know it. You don't even know it. Who's influencing you? See, the trick is we watch commercials and we watch movies and we listen to music. And because we think we're grown, because we think we got life figured out, we don't even understand how we're influenced by the bullshit music we entertain. We don't even understand how we're influenced by the toxic ass bullshit shows that we watch. You can't watch that raggedy ass, ratchet ass fucking dirty housewives of Atlanta or wherever the fuck they from and all that other trashy ass shit and not be influenced spiritually by that toxic ass bullshit. You can't listen to that crappy ass fucking garbage rap shit and not be influenced by the low vibrating music. It ain't even fucking music anymore. But you can't listen to that crap and not be influenced. We have to grow the fuck up. We have to grow up. And so many of you, you're running around angry and mad as fuck. You're running around bitter and confused as fuck. And you don't understand why you're so confused. You don't understand why you're so negative and so mad and angry and sad. What the fuck are you listening to? Who the fuck are you listening to? Why are you listening to them? Why are you listening to that? Why? I know this shit sounds good. The vibrations, the melody, the hymns, whatever the fuck it is. Man, I know the hook is on point. And you just vibe it, not even understanding how toxic that shit is. That's my fucking jam right there. And that's why your ass is so fucking depressed and angry and bitter and toxic and negative. But this is the woke fucking generation. Everybody is fucking woke. Can't tell nobody shit. Everybody fucking know every fucking thing. Except who the fuck they are and why they're the way that they are. So I was talking to this young man and I said, it's amazing. You know so much. You think you know so much about your daddy and you know so little about yourself. You think you know so much about who you are and why you are the way you are, and you have no fucking clue. You're clueless. You're clueless as to why you think the way you do. You're clueless as to why you feel the way you feel. But it is what it is. It's not my job to fix you. It's my job to give you the tools so that you can begin the process of fixing yourself. So you can begin the process of understanding who the fuck you are and why you are the way you are. Who's influencing you? Who are your influencers and why? Why are you allowing them to influence you? Why are you allowing them to lead you? Where are they leading you? And the sad reality, there's so many young kids that are led by their parents into drama, chaos, pain and suffering. There's so many kids that are fucked up from their parents and don't even realize how fucked up they are from their parents because of the bullshit they've been fed. And the truth is, sometimes we grow up not understanding how poisoned we've been. And we could think we're doing all this stuff that's great and blah, 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 and not realize that we've been led astray. So the thing about life is, every one of us, every single one of us, we're on this journey. Every single one of us have to understand and learn to know thyself. How do I know myself? How do I learn and discover thyself? That question has been around, that cause, that purpose has been around since the beginning of time. Who am I? Why am I here? And what the fuck am I supposed to be doing? Don't spend so much time trying to learn everything else that you don't take any time to learn who you are and why you're here. Don't get so caught up in your career, in your education, that you're learning all this bullshit. You know all this shit about math and science and religion, but you know absolutely nothing about who the fuck you are. You know all this shit about how to make $1 million and $1 billion, but you don't know who the fuck you are. And so we take on this mentality, I am the things that I have. I am the thing that I do. And my purpose is just to make this money. My purpose is to flip these houses. My purpose is to flip these cars. My purpose is to sing. My purpose is da da da, and all this other bullshit. Because that's the bullshit we've been led to believe. My purpose is just to worship God and to go to church and pay my tithes and offering and to sing in the choir, to be a deacon, to be an usher, to be a pastor. That's all bullshit. That's not your fucking purpose. That's not your purpose. Those may be the things that you do. You may be a great basketball player. You may be a great accountant. You may be a great lawyer. You may be a great doctor, a great scientist. You may be a great preacher. You may be the best usher this side of the planet. But that's not your motherfucking purpose. Your purpose is to understand who the fuck you are. The things that you do are just things that you do in the process of understanding who the fuck I am. This is what I'm doing to help me understand who the fuck I am. But my purpose, don't get it twisted, is to understand me. My purpose is to know me. And in the process of knowing me, I begin to heal me. I begin to break the generational curses. I begin to break the trauma bonds. I begin to break the addictions. I begin to break the low self-esteem, the self-hatred, the self-abandonment, and all the other shit that we go through in life. I begin to get rid of all of that shit in the process of knowing me. In the process of knowing me, I discover who God really is. I can't, say this again, I can't discover who I am by going to church. I can't discover who I am by using religion alone. Because the focus of religion is God or your belief of who God is. That has absolutely nothing to do with who you are. That has absolutely nothing to do with your fucking baggage and your trauma. That's why you could sit in church for 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years and not know who the fuck you are. And not know why you got anger issues and you got low self-esteem and why you can't keep and get a fucking man and why you can't get and keep a fucking woman and why you got all these fucking issues and you can have all this shit. There's a whole lot of people in church. A hell of a lot of people sitting in church that's been in church since they were fucking kids. And they still don't know who the fuck they are. They still ain't learned how to heal. Because they've been taught God has to do it. They've been taught Jesus has to do it. And so they won't deal with their fucking shit. They won't grow up emotionally. Because they're waiting for Jesus, Yahshua, God, Yahweh, to come fix them. They think that God, Yahweh, Yahshua, whatever they want to call him, refer to him as, man, God just knows I'm not perfect, and he's just accepting the way that I am, and I don't have to change. I've just accepted him into my life, and I'm saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost, filled, water, baptized, running for the Lord. I'm on fire for Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. What do? And you ain't growing the fuck up. You ain't dealing with shit. Who's influenced you to believe that bullshit? And I'm not saying that that's all bullshit. I'm saying that's bullshit in the aspect that's all you gotta fucking do. I'm saying that's bullshit in the aspect of that's why you came here. You didn't come here just so you can worship God. God doesn't need you to worship him. I know that goes against your religious beliefs. We're talking about influencers. God was God before you were born. God was God before your daddy and mammy was born. God was God before anybody walked this motherfucking planet, and he was still God. And none of these motherfuckers was worshiping him. And that didn't stop him from being God. God doesn't need your worship. God doesn't need your raggedy ass fucking money. Talking about influencers. Who's influencing you and why? See, it's great to sit there and tell people that they have to come to church and they have to pay the tithes and offerings. Who benefits from that? It ain't God. God don't get shit out of you paying your tithes and offering. It ain't like America got this thing of, okay, we're taking in 10% from all these people and we got to cut God a check for 5%. We got to cut God a check for 3%. Ain't nobody cutting God a check on anything. Now, one of these motherfucking pastors in this church is giving God anything. They could say, "Oh, I'm giving 10% to God." No, that money come right back to them. That money come right back to their building, to their organization, to their pocket. They're the ones that benefit from y'all paying y'all tithes and offering. They benefit the most. God don't get shit out of that at all. At all. Do what you do. I don't care. You know, why are you doing it? Who influenced you to do it? And what was the purpose behind you being influenced to do it? It's crazy. Talking to this young man yesterday, talking to my nephew years ago. I've talked to so many young men, so many young women throughout the years. That's what I do. That's my thing. That's my gift. Is to be to talk to people and help them understand why they think the way they think, why they do what they do. Talking about influencers. Who's influencing you? How are they influencing you? Man, I hope and pray that I said something to bless you, to encourage you, to help you on this journey. That's what it's all about. It's about us growing up, me growing up, me learning and dealing with my trauma and my baggage and all the shit that I've gone through, all the shit that I've been programmed to believe. Me sitting back and understanding why. Not to judge anybody else. Because we've all been broken. We've all been fucked up. Our parents did the best that they could do under their circumstances. Understand they had trauma, they had baggage, they had issues and all the other shit. So we don't blame our parents in the aspect of, man, they wasn't shit. We sit back and understand, okay, you know, my mama wasn't perfect. My daddy wasn't perfect. And so when they was telling me all this shit, when they were leading me down this path, maybe they were doing it with the best intentions, with the limited knowledge that they had. Understand, they hadn't dealt with their fucking shit. They didn't even talk about their shit. We have to grow up. Man, family, thank you for being with me. Namaste. The God in me sees, recognizes, acknowledges, and cherishes the God in you. Happy healing. Peace.